it is time for another crochet color challenge. And if you can't tell from the color of my shirt, hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, well, welcome back. Today we are doing a crochet color challenge, and I started this series months ago with, what color did I start with? I think it was green. Since then, we have done a whole bunch of different colors, and the color we are doing today, my favorite color. When you come into my house, I wouldn't have to tell you what my favorite color was, but there would be signs. You could find sayings on the wall. You might even find bags or furniture, or perhaps even a door. You might also find water bottles, tea kettles. The list goes on, really, of the things that you can find in my house, which would designate this month's crochet color challenge. So if you haven't figured it out by now, we are doing the color teal. So yeah, I kind of have a little bit of an obsession with the color teal, and it's not just like any one shade of teal. Like it can be like a Tiffany blue teal, like my necklace that I've had for like ever in 5 years. It can be dark teal, light teal, like almost green teal. It really doesn't matter. Like I don't know what it is. I just really like the color teal. So I'm kind of bummed that I only got to make 10 things that were teal. I kind of just ran out of time. Some of the things that I was going to crochet, I already had a whole bunch in inventory, so I didn't really want to make another octopus. I didn't really want to make another dino. There were just some things that you guys suggested, and then that, my family suggested, that I was like, I already have so many of those, that I didn't want to create more because I still wanted to make stuff that I'm going to be able to sell at market. So I have 10 different teal things to share with you guys. Several of them are new patterns to me that I have never tried before, so that's exciting. And then there are a couple favorites in there. Some may stray a little bit from teal, like some of them are a little bit of a stretch, but they were plushies that I wanted to make anyway, so we just kind of lumped them in there. One of them's kind of like a gray blue, the other one's more on the green side, but I think they all will work just fine. So that is what we are doing in today's video. So grab a crochet project, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, something to drink, and let's check out all the things that I've crocheted that are teal. Oddly enough, I did put them all in a teal bag naturally, right? I mean, and they all fit in there quite well. Sneak peek of the top plushie, which I think we're going to save that one till the end, because it's by far the biggest one that I crocheted. And we're actually going to start with my favorite small plushie that I did in the color teal. So the first thing that I do when I do a color challenge is I pull all of the specific color and I set them out on one of my tables in the front room. And if you've seen previous videos before this one, you might have seen all of that teal yarn just sitting out there waiting to be crocheted with. And you'll see in there that, it's some of them are a little bit more gray than teal, and some, they all kind of fall into, I feel like, a shade of teal. Over the last week or so is really when I really just kind of focused in on the teal color challenge. So as I was looking for things that were teal to crochet, I had already done quite a few, and I was kind of just looking for some inspiration on a couple other plushies to do. So I was just scrolling around Instagram, and I happened to come upon the Cozy Stitches little monster pattern. And I do love the Cozy Stitches little chubby buddies. They're super cute and they're pretty quick to make. And I came across her mod for Sully. And I was like, that's a perfect shade of teal. That's super cute. And I love Disney. I love that movie, but I mean, it's not my favorite Disney movie, but I do love it. I'm just kind of like a Disney, like I pretty much love any Disney movie. And so I'm like, that's what I want to make. I want to make Sully. Now she has a little monster pattern that you do have to have. And then the Sully is a modification on her website. And so I went to my teal yarn and I could not find any like teal that really was the right shade that I wanted to use until I saw my little patchwork yarn that I had pulled, and I was planning to use that for a Scrappy Bear, but I guess I'm kind of burnt out of crocheting Scrappy Bears right now. And so I was like, that shade of teal in that patchwork is like the perfect shade. And so I was like, all right, because I did want to make it our net blanket yarn. And so not only did it have the right shade of teal, but it also had the darker shade of teal that I needed for the nose. So I was like, we're just going to break apart this patchwork yarn, and surely there's going to be enough for this little Sully guy. So I do have a few little clips to share with you of that process of making Sully. So I'm going to show you those clips now, and then I will come back and show you the little plushie. Okay, so I made it this far on my little Sully monster. Luckily my skein started with the color I needed, but now I'm going to have to ball this up and find the next place where this color is in the skein of yarn. Okay, so we had this much of the light color, and now it's changing to the dark, and luckily I need this dark for this project too, so that works out. So okay, we got this much of the dark teal, and then this is literally just tied together. So it's not quite the right color teal yet, so I keep balling this yarn up. All right, so there's that much of this color. It's definitely not the right shade. So right now we have 4 shades of teal in this ball of yarn, but it looks like we're going back to the dark. So I'm going to attach this yarn to this ball, and is that right? Is that the same color? I don't know. I don't think that's the same color. Okay. Okay, now we have kind of like a lime green color coming, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 colors now. Well, that one was short-lived, and we're back to the color that I need now, I think. Yeah. All right. So now I can continue working on this little monster. Okay, I got the little eyes attached for Sully, and I did my adding the felt on the back. Now we can just finish this little guy up. Okay, so I got this guy made. But now I have this ball of yarn that I know if I don't wind it up, it's going to get tangled. And so I'm going to go ahead and ball this all up, and then I guess I'll decide later what to do with it. So in this Bernette blanket patchwork and the color Teal Dream, I got my little body of my Sully, and then these were the other colors. Just for reference, like this one is probably the biggest. But yeah, and that took me about 15 minutes to ball up the rest of it, so not too bad. Now the question is, I need a new scrappy project, so what should I make with all my scraps? All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna finish this little guy, and the next time you see him, when I show all of the other teal projects that I've made. Okay, so here is little Sully. I gave him, I think these are 16 millimeter eyes. I think they're just the glitter discs. And then we have the teal from the patchwork yarn for both his nose and his body. This is just a shade of like some shadow purple, I think, or something. And then his ears or his horns are sand. And I think, oh, and then this you just do acrylic yarn for these. But he's so cute, don't you think? I want to say I want to make another one, but I don't really want to sell them, but I kind of feel like I want to have a couple different characters with him. I think she also has the little one-eyed Mike. Is it Mike? Sully and Mike, the little one-eyed guy. Anyways, but Here is the first teal plushie. Not the first one that I made, but it's the first one that I'm showing you because it is my favorite of the little plushies. And then I'm gonna save my big plushie that is probably my ultimate favorite for the end. So little Sully, so cute. All right, the next one I'm going to show you, I had asked on the community tab if any of you guys had a favorite like jellyfish pattern, because it's been a really long time since I made a jellyfish, and I think the one that I made before, I didn't really love the pattern, and I really wanted to find one that had like the curly-cued tentacles as well as the straight ones. And I did look at the ones that you guys suggested on the tab, but I did not find any that had the look that I was going for. And so when I came across this one on Ribbler, it had both the curly ones and the straight ones. And then I just used this variegated like yarn that I had. I used just some leftover yarn that I had from another project for these tentacles. And I did not put eyes on it because I feel like this kind of plushie is good for like little baby type kids, for them to like fidget with and cuddle. And so I just didn't really want to give it eyes. Ellie the Jellyfish, I think, on Ribbler, and I'll link it in the description box. She does not have like an Etsy or anything. I did pay like $2 for the pattern, but it was exactly what I was looking for. And I think it turned out super cute. This middle tentacle was optional, and I just wanted to add it to add a little bit more fullness at the bottom. But this one, you just work from the top to the bottom. It was actually pretty easy. I would make it again, and I might try and make another one. I don't know if I'll have time this week for my market on Saturday, but it is pretty cute. I do like it. All right, one of the ideas that you guys had for me on my last color challenge video to make out of teal was a pumpkin. And I decided to use a free pattern on Instagram. I think this is Sammy Crochets, I think is the name of the designer, for the little jelly cat pumpkin. And I decided to make it teal out of, this is of Sweet Snuggles Light or Chanel Home Slim. And when I put the eyes in, I put them too far apart. And so when I went to do the ink, like the yarn to make the creases in the pumpkin, they weren't really placed right. Like there's not supposed to be one going down the middle of the eyes. So I just kind of had to finagle it. And I don't love how the legs sit, but when it's sitting down on a counter, it's fine. I definitely need to pay better attention, and maybe I would just even embroider the eyes after the fact instead, so that I could get the placement right, because I just really didn't know. But I think it turned out okay, and I tried a new pattern, so teal pumpkin. All right, the fourth one I want to show you is also one that was suggested on my last color challenge video, and that is Perry the Platypus. This one was from, oh gosh, I don't remember the designer's name. It is on Etsy though, and I will link it in the description. But this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. My daughters kind of made fun of how the bill is, so we'll see if it sells, but it is super cute in the little Perry the Platypus colors with his little hat. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was super challenging to make. You know, you did have to make the arms and the legs ahead of time. And then this one is crocheted, I want to say from the bottom up. I think so. It was last week, I don't remember. But anyway, this one turned out super cute. And I also did 16mm eyes. I don't remember what color I did. I think they're like a brown color for the eyes. But he's cute, and he's got his orange tail and yellow feet and yellow bill. So, Perry the Platypus. All right, the next one is kind of on the slippery slope of not being exactly teal, but close enough. And my friend actually had asked me and sent me, I think it was a picture on Facebook or something, and she was like, you should make eagles. And I was like, she's a huge Eagles fan, as far, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the one that she sent was okay. I didn't love the pattern that she sent, and it was just a picture. It really wasn't even the pattern. And so I went out and I searched up an eagle pattern, and I found one on Instagram that I loved, that it was, you know, it was free. And here is the little eagle. I used malachite. So I tried to find a teal that kind of matched the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm not sure how close this one is, but I think it's close enough. And I do think this is a really cute little eagle. My daughter did say that she thought that this thing kind of made it look like an owl, but I think with the wings and, you know, the coloring, I mean, it looks like an eagle, right? And then I think if I did this part brown, then it would look like an actual like bald eagle. But this one, I'm going to show it to my friend, and if she likes it, then she said that she wanted to order, I think, like several for her family. So I haven't yet showed it to her. So here's the little eagle I made. All right, 2 plushies that you've seen before in my videos, but I did make them for this challenge because I needed some for my next market, and the colors worked perfectly. And this one is the Itty Bitty Snake from Saucy Puffin Crafts. I made in this chenille home slim color, and I did make several more for my market, but you'll have to see those in Thursday's video. I'm doing a mid-month what I crocheted, but yeah, so little snake. And then the other one that I made, just because I needed more stock, was this little axolotl from Peach Puffin Patterns. And I did the kind of teal frosting-ish color with teal gills. Say that 10 times fast and see how well you do. Anyways, I do love this little pattern, and I think it turned out super cute. Okay, I only have 3 more. You know, it's a shorter video. I only had 10, but I was also like market prepping and stuff. I don't know. One of the things that you guys suggested was maybe like a cactus or something like that. And I had made a big cactus before, but it's very time consuming. And so I didn't want to make another cactus. And I went out and I searched up cute cactus patterns, and I'm not sure how. I think I had seen Unraveled and Unwound, her little mini stress balls. And I've never actually made one before. And so I was looking at all of her different patterns, and I came across this little stress ball pattern for a cactus. And I was like, that's perfect, because cactus is kind of like, you know, my thing. I live in Arizona, and I could make a little like a stress ball cactus and see how those work out, because like I said, I've never made one before. And then I started looking at my yarn, and I was like, what if I made it and made a big stress ball cactus, and see how that turns out. And so I decided to get that pattern. I actually got a couple of them, but I made the stress ball cactus, and the ball turned out very big. So I don't have a stress ball cactus. This is the ball. It's big. Like, I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to, but it's pretty big. Here it is up against my head. So it does not fit in your hand like a stress ball. So this is not a stress ball buddy. This is more of just a ball buddy. So this is how big the little thing is that it goes in. And when I sat it down, I was like, it looks kind of, I don't know. So I decided to embroider the eyes and give it some little jelly cat feet. And then I felt like it could just be like a little kid's little ball friend. Like, you know, maybe for like little kids, they could learn to, like, you know, even babies, like learn how to put the ball into the thing. I don't know. Like, I made it and I was like, whoop, I made the ball. I started the ball and I was like, oh, this is going to be very big. but I was committed. Like I had already made most of the ball and I'm like, we're just gonna make it and see how it looks. And this is what I came up with. Someone will buy it, right? Like, I mean, it's cute when it's sitting. I also wanted to put the feet on it because it wasn't really standing very good, like by itself. So I felt like it needed the feet to kind of like balance it out so it would sit. So now it just sits, it sits up pretty good, and it can be for a little baby under 2 because I embroidered the eyes, but like it's pretty big. It's definitely not stress ball size. So we're just gonna call this a ball buddy. And I used a demi pearl yarn just because I liked this color of teal. And I really like teal with pink. And this is like a kind of a corally pink for the flower. We'll see, like, I don't know, I'm gonna take it to the market this weekend and see if it sells. It is bigger, it's on the bigger size. So it's like a $20 something price range because of how big it is. So we'll see. Worst case scenario, it just becomes like, I don't know, something that I keep because it's a cactus and I like cactuses. But it's my ball buddy, not my stress ball buddy. It's a cactus ball buddy because I gave him legs and he's big. She's big, whatever. Anyways, now the next one I'm going to show you is definitely one that kind of teeters on. It's not exactly teal. It's kind of like a grayish teal. But I just made it yesterday. And my oldest daughter was here for the weekend. And I asked her, like, I was just kind of at a slump. I'm like, I want to have 10 items for this video. I don't know why. I could have done 9, but I really just wanted to make one more. And so she suggested an elephant. And I have been testing like these new grid walls that I got. And so I had all of my snugglers like up on this grid wall in my front room, just kind of trying it out. And she's like, you should make an elephant. Or no, she said, what did she say? She said, you should make a snuggler. And I was like, well, what animal? And then what did she come up with? Elephant. I think she suggested elephant. Did she? Yeah, I think she did. And so then I remembered that I had purchased BK Crochets May the Elephant, and I've never made it. And so I was like, all right, we can make May the Elephant. So here is little May snuggler. Like, she's not stuffed, just her feet and her hands and her head, of course. And I embroidered her eyes. I used a different yarn this time. I used Posh for the black, just because I felt like I wouldn't have to make as many passes. And it worked okay. And then I just used cotton for the white. But they're her little eyes. And I forgot how much I like BK Crochet's little patterns. They work up really quickly. You crochet the arms in. You surface crochet the tail. The ears are actually crocheted in as well. And so it is no-sew, right? Yeah, because you go from the top of the tip of the trunk to the back of the head, and then you set that aside, and then you work up from the feet all the way up, and then you crochet the body onto the head. So there is no sewing. The only thing that I wish there was a way to do it, and I tried something this morning and it didn't really work, but I don't love how the pink is on the back of the ears. So I might try a different, like, I tried to make a backing for it for the ears and it just made it really too thick. So I don't really know if there is a good alternative to making the middle of the ears pink without having them on the back. You'd have to do a double thickness on the ears, and I just think it might be too top heavy for that. But she is really cute. I do like this pattern a lot, and yeah, so I'm gonna take this little elephant to my market this weekend. And last, but certainly not least, I decided to make a bigger plushie, and this is really the one that took me a couple days, and so that's why I didn't probably make but 10 things that are teal. But I decided to take on this dragon. This is the Snuggle Beans Crochet, I'm forgetting her name. This is Eden, the Snuggle Beans Crochet like splooting dragon. And when I saw her pattern, hers is actually white with teal accents. So I decided to make mine teal with white and pink accents. And so this is how she turned out. I used 35mm eyes just with the discs that come with, like, I think this is just like the iridescent disc eyes. And then I used the fur yarn that I had for the backbone. And then I used, I don't think you can tell, sparkle yarn for the white horns and the tail piece. And then just the pink accents for the paws and inside the ears. And that is the little dragon. For this one, let's see, you do have to sew on the horns. I believe the ears are crocheted in the round, if I remember. No, you have to sew them on. So you have to sew on all the head stuff. The front legs are crocheted in the round. You have to sew on the wings. You have to sew on the legs. So this is definitely not like a beginner pattern, but she took a while. Like this one took a while, and her price tag is going to be upwards, probably close to 90, because it did take a while. I can't remember the name of this teal, but I had a full skein, and it used all but like 32 grams of a full skein of Bernette blanket yarn. And I just love how she's like a little cuddle dragon. She cuddles. She's just so cute. She's got her little like cuddle head, her splootingness. I do wish her little legs were a little bit like bigger, because I feel like her legs are a little bit small, but like the little paws. I feel like on her other splooting animals, I feel like the paws are a little bit bigger, but it's still really super cute. And I mean, I guess we'll see if she sells. I'm not even exactly sure where I'm going to display her. So I haven't been taking Blossom to my markets just because there's really nowhere to put her. So what I might do is I might build up my three, my grid walls up one more level, and then just put her on the very top. But we'll see. I don't know. I might need to set up. No, I don't need to set up again. I'm not going to do another mock setup, but we are going to take her to the market. I think I will be a little bit sad if she sells, but she was fun to make, and I would definitely make another one. So now you've seen all 10 of the teal plushies that I made, and I guess now it's time for us to pick a new color for my next color challenge. All right, so here is the colors that we have yet to do. I don't know, black, gray, red, purple, variegated, and black. So I don't know, let's see what we get. Okay, so the next color that we're going to be doing is variegated, and I will tell you that I did not respin. That is what came up. I feel like variegated yarns, I have a lot of different variety of those, so we will get those colors pulled and get started on that challenge. I feel like that is going to be one that I do over the course of the next couple of weeks, just because I'm also going to be market prepping, and I don't know, like I can make another jellyfish with variegated. I mean, I think with the variegated yarns, pretty much the options are endless. But if you guys have ideas on what I can crochet that is variegated, or what you would like me to, or what you'd like to see me crochet that's variegated, feel free to drop those in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And I always try to pull some ideas from you guys of, you know, what you think I should crochet for these. So definitely drop me some ideas in the comments. I would definitely appreciate it. And also I would love to know which is your favorite plushie that I crocheted that was teal. But I think that is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. All right, this video is, here we go again. Here we go again. How do I want to start this? I need to look at my clips. Did I still have white on there? The itty bitty. Last cut. Wait, why am I crooked? Teal gills. Teal gills. I can't even say that. So now you've seen all of the 12.